Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the coaches out there. Hearty and healthy Irish hello. Happy Friday. As in Ireland, we say, thank crunchy it's Friday. All right, your Friday rant. No particular time or pace, or place or space. Now, I I got interviewed this morning on a Jordanian, uh, by a Jordanian from Saudi Arabia about fear. And he was interviewing me for all the coaches that are out there in Jordan. And I started thinking a lot more about fear as the day today went on. I started thinking about um, well, let me backtrack. About a week ago, I wrote on my board 10 things I would do if I was fearless. And so I wrote a bunch of different things like who I'd coach and who I'd reach out to and what company I'd love to work with. And I wrote them all down, on my board. And something, I suppose you call it an insight, but it struck me today that we're never ever fearless. Like we're never ever going to not feel fear because we're human beings and we have a heart and we feel our thinking. And when we're in joyful thinking, we feel joy. When we're in fearful thinking, we feel fear. And fear is a natural part of being a human. Has to be. If we didn't feel fear, I'm not sure that we would feel life, because part of life is having fearful thinking. And so I find it fascinating. I decided to rewrite my 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 list. And instead of writing 10 things I'd do if I was fearless, I wrote what if. What if I could connect to that company? What if I could reach out to that person, that political leader that I would love to coach? He's doing great work in the world. What if? What if I could? What if I could? Great question to ask your clients. Instead of trying to get the client to be fearless and have no fear and do it anyway. What if we asked ourselves the question, what if I could? What if I could build a business? Knowing that I feel my thinking, knowing that that fear is nothing more than my fearful thinking made real by feeling it. So if we knew that we were always going to feel fear in some capacity, because we think, when we think, we feel. So we're always going to be joyful, happy, sad, mad, glad, angry, fearful. Like if I just made that okay and not tried to be fearless in the world, if I took fearless off the table, knowing that part of being a human is sometimes I'm going to feel afraid and sometimes I'm not. And so, what if I asked myself a better question? Then, what if I wasn't afraid? What would I do? And ask ourselves the questions, what if I could? Yeah, I'm going to feel fear. That's all going to be there. But what if I could? What if I could build a business that was incredible? What if I could build a business where I had more freedom in my life? What if I could work 3 or 4 days a week coaching and serve people? What if I could do that? Where would I begin? What if I could reach out to that person? What if I could invite people into conversations and have nothing on it except to have a conversation and see if I can help that person, and then from that place offer my service. Serve first, sell later. And if you serve someone well in a conversation, there's no selling, because the natural next part of that would be to, hey, you've had an experience, and the person says, wow, this has been great, Dermot. How do I work with you? The coaching sells. You don't have to sell coaching. You got to show up, serve someone as best as you can, and the natural next step of that relationship, of that serving, will be selling, which will be offering your services. Highest form of service being a well-paid relationship, or a well-paid coaching relationship. So what if you could grab a piece of paper and write down on it, what if I could? And write down all the things that, if you could do, could experience, could create, what would you create? What would you experience? What if I could? Knowing that you're going to feel fear, you're going to have fearful thinking. There's no way to stop yourself from thinking. Have you tried? There's no way to do it. So knowing that that's happening, what if I could? Great, great question. I think it's one of the most powerful questions in coaching. Dermot, what if you could? Oh, but Dermot, I can't. Yeah, but what if you could? Oh, but I can't, Dermot. I'm too afraid. I don't have the resources. I don't have the time. People are stopping me. I don't have the ability. I don't have the skills. I'm afraid. Yeah. What if all that was present and you still could? What would you do? Where would you begin? What would you start with? What would be the first easy, doable thing that you would do to move yourself in that direction? Rome wasn't built in a day. And all you have to do is point yourself in the direction that you want to go, and then take the very first step. And when you take that step, the next step is revealed, and the next step is revealed. I coach coaches. I have private one-on-one coaches. I have our online program for coaches at the Coaches Cafe every month. Coming up next November 26th at 10 a.m. We're going to be talking about how to create easy, respectful referrals. I'll leave a link down below. But what if you could create a great life? What if you could create a successful, prosperous coaching business? What if you could? Pretty good question, and I encourage you to play with it over the weekend. Until next week, think big, have fun, stay curious. Cheers, coaches.